So today I'm going to speak a little more about listening. I spoke about this before, but you know, those of you who have been reading Second Chance by Sid Banks see the two words in all capitals, seeing and knowing. And when Sid spoke about this, he would draw it out. He would say, it's seeing and it's knowing. And to the best of my understanding, there's a world beyond this one, right? There's a world beyond the one that we see and hear and taste and smell. There's this greater world where we see, all capitals, we see what's going on behind the physical reality. So I'm going to give you an example. Well, I see a lot of couples through the years. Since 1985, I've seen lots and lots of couples. I also work with individuals who want to get beyond their anxiety or depression or post-traumatic stress, what have you, stress in general. And when it comes to couples, they come with one of two issues. One is one of them has had an affair. And the other one is always communication. We want to fix our communication. We want to improve our communication. And guess what? Actually, behind both of those, the affairs or the difficulty with communication, is difficulty in listening. And that's this week's module is really focused on listening, not just to your partner or somebody else, but listening to that deeper place in you that sees and knows. This is really tricky to explain. You just have to kind of get the feeling for it, get the feeling for it. And in fact, Sid often said, look for a feeling. How do you look for a feeling? But we can sense it. We sense when we're not communicating. We can sense that. You hear people say that they sense when their partner is having an affair. There's this bigger knowing. And there's also a knowing about how things work here. How we as humans work through mind, thought, and consciousness to have an experience of life, to have an experience of reality. Like I was saying yesterday, there's more than one reality here. There's many separate realities. And even when you look out at life or you think about your situation or your circumstance, you see it in different lights, often depending upon the mood you're in. So getting back to listening, I'm going to divide this up between listening to others and listening to yourself. So let's start with listening to others, because I think that's, easier to tap into, or that's easier to see. Okay, so when you're listening to other people, and I know I spoke about this earlier, that take the reverse for a minute, when other people are listening to us, I know I get annoyed. It's easy for me to get annoyed when somebody wants to give me their opinion. I'm expressing myself and they want to give me their opinion, it like automatically is voiding what I'm saying in my mind. I mean, that's my thinking, obviously. So take that for whatever it's worth for you. But when you listen to somebody else, if you listen to understand where they are coming from, you've got to really listen with an empty mind, without judgment, without your assessment of what they are saying. I mean, that is just so commonplace for people to listen through their own thinking. If you have a judgment, if you have an assessment of what they're saying, that's your thinking. So essentially, you're listening to them through the filters of your own mind. And it's hard to, you can't really connect. You cannot connect with someone when you're basically listening to yourself. You want to listen to understand them, not to fix their situation, not to fix them, because that's judgment. If you think that there's something off with them that needs fixing, then you're judging them. And that judgment gets in the way of clarity of thought, clarity of taking them in. Actually, it's more like no thought when you're clear-headed, but you would, have some thought on your mind. You just don't want to pay attention to your personal thinking, so that you can take them in, so that you can hear them with as much clarity as possible. And let me tell you, that feels so good for the person being listened to. Everybody, I don't know anybody who doesn't crave that feeling of understanding, like, wow, that person gets me. They're not going to get you through their own interpretation. They're going to get you if they've got a direct ability to listen. We all have the ability. It's a matter of understanding how it works. When you understand how it works, then it makes it so much easier. It's just second nature. It's commonplace then. And, so let me talk a bit about listening to yourself. We can listen to the chatter in our brain, all that, I'm not good enough, or I'm too good for that, or I should be treated better, or what's wrong with them that they don't get me, all that chatter. Clear that out, because it's not going to benefit you in any way. It's just going to bother you and get you upset and annoyed. So if you're not paying attention to the chatter and you're listening for, like Sid said, listen for a feeling, and it comes wisdom. I'm talking about listening for wisdom underneath the chatter. Wisdom comes with a nice feeling. Check it out in your own life. You know when something is right on. It's like your truth meter is working, and you could tell, yes, I get this. I understand this. Somewhere inside of me gets this and understands this, and it feels good. That's wisdom. Wisdom is not ever going to feel bad. Now, you could be in a bad space and be caught up in your thinking, and boom, all of a sudden you drop into some deeper place of wisdom. That's happened for people too. It doesn't only happen when you're meditating on a rock looking at a stream, or sitting in your easy chair. It happens really when we're not looking for it. It happens when we just get quiet. And can we say, okay, I've got to quiet my mind and drop into a quieter state? Yes, we're capable of that. But it also happens on its own. Like, we get to a critical mass of thinking, and then we're, brain dead, I guess. We go into this place of emptiness. You never fully empty of thought, obviously, or you'd be dead. But it's a lot less thinking. It's a lot quieter. It's a lot softer. It's a lot more pleasant. Now, here's the kicker. The kicker is that when we understand this, the outcome is phenomenal. And you have to really, you can't just hear it and say, oh, okay, I get it. You have to see it inside yourself to really understand it. And you have to see it more than once. I think that's how it was for me. I don't know, correct me, if you have a different experience, and definitely, comment to that in our Facebook group. But my experience is that the more I understood this, just from direct observation in my own life, how things work and how things turn out, I found that the things people want in life become the outcome, the natural outcome of this quieter listening. We get more compassionate because we're not judging. We're just listening for the other person's feeling. We'll pick up on their feeling if we get quiet in our own head and just listen to them. So we'll feel more compassionate, we'll feel more understanding. We couldn't get into blame. I mean, that would make no sense, right? I mean, you can't blame somebody for something that it's just where they're at in their thinking right now at this point in time. And you can't get into feeling shame. Like knowing that, okay, I said that stupid thing. It really wasn't the brightest thing to say. I'll apologize, and, we'll all move on. And maybe we could even laugh about it. Like, I think I might have mentioned I had a client who would say, my human is showing, instead of my slip is showing. My human is showing. It's humbling when we do something or say something stupid, because every human does that stuff. Everybody. It's part of being human. And it's humbling. That's all I could say. It's really humbling to be part of this. So not only, compassion and understanding and not feeling shame that we got off on a tangent or said something silly, or maybe even offensive, that could slip out too in a negative state of mind. And then you just apologize, and whoever you said that to is going to pick up from you that you're sincere, that you're not just saying, oh, sorry, but you don't really mean it. They're going to pick up the sincerity of that through, guess what? A feeling. A feeling. We communicate so much more than just the spoken word. So I'll tell you, if you can come from a nice feeling as often as possible in your life, you will see remarkable things happen. Not just in your relationship with others, but in your relationship with yourself. we're always in relationship with our own thinking. That's the foremost relationship. Whether you're with somebody right next to you and you just spent 24 hours with that person, or whether you've been alone for 2 days, it's still the relationship you have with your own thinking. So see how listening to yourself for wisdom, listening to another person when you get out of your personal mind, right? See how much more connecting that is. It's amazing. It really is amazing. And see if you can grasp or, get a sense of, that's all we can do, is really get a sense of what it means to listen for a feeling. It's pointing us in a certain direction. We've got this internal compass. If we pay attention to it, we'll be able to point ourselves in a better direction. Even if we've really gone south and we're really out of sorts, if we just have a little memory that this isn't going to last forever, I'm going to see things differently, and I can't wait to find out when I'm there, when I'm seeing it differently. It's like a miracle. It feels like a miracle, but with understanding, it's understandable. Sounds a little weird, but I think you probably get the point of it. Okay, look forward to any comments that anybody has, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.